That is a puzzle for me. I always wondered about that.
I mean, if you and I, Billy, were in a restaurant, and I said, Billy, let's go to the restroom, everybody would think that we're crazy.
I have to just leave you there, man.
That's right.
Talk to you
Why
later.
do they do that?
Yeah, talk to you later.
Hey, take care. I enjoyed talking with you. You were a hoot.
No, don't put me in them categories.
Okay, I'll see you. Okay. Man certainly is articulate about the differences between men and women. And the next one is going to be Brian in Fayetteville. Brian, you're on WSB.
Hi.
Hey.
How you doing?
All right.
I was just calling about the rioting up at the National Institutes in Maryland.
Yeah.
I've been a patient up there for 16 years. I'm a cancer research patient since the age of 4. And like with cancer, AIDS, they're just going to have to, give it time. The cure isn't going to come overnight.
So you think the rioters, the protesters are off base?
Oh, yeah, definitely. They've devoted a whole floor up there at the NIH, and I know several AIDS patients on the 13th floor clinic where I go to, which is basically a cancer floor. There's several, young children with it. When I go to get blood work, I see, men, women with the white bags, and that's usually the bags that, they carry their urine specimens and their blood specimens in to the AIDS floor. And, there's several of them in there, and I know my treatment's free, and, I'm sure theirs is too. And, they're just, they're doing all they can for it.
I hope they are. I hope they're doing everything they can, because it seems to me that maybe we are spending a lot of our tax dollars on stuff that isn't as important as finding a cure for cancer or a cure for AIDS.
Right.
I'd much rather see that money going into medical research than to support some banana republic in Central America,
Yeah, that's true.
Hey, I appreciate your call, and I hope your health progresses best it can.
Thanks a lot.
Take care.
All right.
Leola in southwest Atlanta, you're on AM-750 WSB.
Yes, hello, Paul.
Hey there.
I just had a comment on why men urinate in the backyard.
Oh, no. How did this topic come up? Oh, okay. Go ahead.
But I think it's just for convenience.
Yeah, that's the obvious answer.
Convenient, because all he has to do is unzip and relieve himself. And women wouldn't dare, try to do something like that, because we think more about ourselves than that. We have more pride, seem to have more pride than men in some things.
Maybe women are cleaner than men.
Yeah, and they have to go through such a process.
Right. How about other things that are mystifying and mysterious about men that you don't quite understand?
Well, men have a tendency to sit anywhere. For instance, you might see men sitting out on the doorstep, and the steps are dirty. They'll sit on the floor, and they'll work on the car, and maybe don't want to come in and wash their hands. They'll just look in the trunk and get an old towel or something and wipe their hands off, and they'll wash them at their earliest convenience.
Yeah.
When a woman do things like she goes and and washes her hands. I don't know. I guess it's just the manhood in them. I really don't understand.
And have you noticed that men have a tendency to spit a lot?
Yes, that's true too. I don't know. I guess God just made them that way. I have never understood me, and I've been married for 26 years, but I still don't understand my husband. Some of the things that he do.
Well, maybe you can answer this question, which has always really perplexed me. Why is it, Iola, that when you go in a restaurant, the women like to go to the restroom in a group?
Well, for me, now, I'm just giving you, for myself, I would want someone to go with me to see if my clothes are straight or if my hair is in place. A woman would tell you if something is wrong, if something is not just right.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's what it is. If you need to touch up your lipstick or something like that, women will tell each other.
Oh, I got you. Sometimes in a nice way and sometimes in a very catty way.
Right.
I think women are more catty to each other than men are. Do you?
Yes, I do. I do.
I think that's a vast difference between men and women.
Right.
More competitive for some reason.
Right.
More. I think women tend to gossip more than men.
Well, they do. they do. And but when you find a man that gossips, he really lays it on. He's worse than a woman.
Iola, it was great talking with you.
Thank
Do you listen to Wes every day?
Yes, I do.
I hope you keep doing that. He'll be back tomorrow with Lester Maddox.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
And let's see, Betty in Roswell, you're on WSB.
Hi, Paul. I have just the answer about why men do such things.
All right.
It starts when they're little bitty boys and they go on picnics. And these two mothers took the kids to the park on a picnic, a little girl and a little boy, 3 and 4 years old, and the mothers were sitting on their blanket with their little baskets and talking and chit-chatting, and the little boy disappears behind the tree, and the little girl goes running after him. She looks real perplexed. She turns around and she says, Mommy, Jimmy's got such a handy little gadget to carry on a picnic.
Oh, I'll tell you.
So I think that's the reason. They just can't, turn it down. It is so handy to have around.
You're a hoot, you know that.
Yes,
I'll
do.
see you.
Okay, buddy.
AM-750 WSB. It's 217 for West Minter. This is Paul Gonzales, and it's open calling.
WSB.
Evelyn,
Yeah,
you're on the radio.
yeah, Paul.
Hey.
Before I get on with my portrait of the Cadillac conservatives, I want to make a real profound statement. You know the reason God created man before woman? You always make a rough draft before the masterpiece.
That's directly the opposite of what Archie Bunker used to always say.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah, what he used to say is that woman, of course, was taken from the man's rib,
Yeah.
and of course we all know that rib is a cheaper cut.
Sure. Now, my portrait of a conservative is a white Anglo-Saxon Protestant male. Most of them warmed over Dixiecrats that turned Republican after the 1964 Civil Rights Act. And they're very inconsistent. They against a woman's right to choose, against ERA, against family planning and sex education, and against gun control. Now,
And then they turn around and they say they don't want the government.
they're far aid to Contras, killing all those people after they're born. They're prescribed prey in public schools, and their own brand of patriotism and morality forced on us by the government. And they say they want to get government off our backs.
I know it.
You know what they want to do? They want to demand that government compel rape women to bear the children of their taxes. They want to get their Christian prey in our public schools. Have you seen Pat Robertson lately?
No, I don't have much use for him.
He wants to make this country a Christian nation.
Right.
And he's getting up money and everything to... So...
You know, Evelyn, you sent me a letter one time, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
And you know what? I saved that letter because your description of conservatives is, in my opinion, right on the money. The bottom line is conservatives keep saying we want less government, and as you say...
They're the ones that barging in our homes without warrants, and see, they want to take every one of our Bill of Rights away from us.
Well, I wouldn't say across the board that's necessarily correct, but when they say they want less government, and they want, like you say, aid to the Contras, and they want abortion rules, and they want the sodomy law to stay in effect. To me, I don't understand it at all. I've had the hardest time for years understanding how you can say less government and then want the government to do all these things.
So they want less government for poor people and education and everything else, but they want to legislate our morality. And also now they're trying to legislate our patriotism. Did you get that thing that I wrote on the flag?
No, I didn't see that, but I'll look for it.
I'll send you one.
Well, I appreciate your call, Evelyn.
Okay, thank you very much.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
And Philip in Locust Grove, you're on AM-750 WSB.
Hey, Paul, I'd like to talk about women.
Okay, I love to talk about women.
Yeah, okay, I'm only 16, and, I've already got them put down pat. I know everything about them.
Oh, you need to write that for me, because I'm 42 and I still don't understand them.
Yeah, well, something that I've been wondering about is why, if you've been out in the yard working and busting your rear all day and come in and you wash your hands and you just happen to grab at the good towel hanging on the cabinet,
Yeah?
why does she start yelling at you when she's been sitting in gossiping and watching TV all day?
Yeah, the good towel. I mean, what are towels made for anyway but to wipe off your hands?
Yeah, really. And I've been wondering about why do women shave their legs one day, forget about the next, and then go into this fit when you start, well, my girlfriend, okay? When you start filling up her legs, she goes into this frenzy saying, you know, "Well, just leave my legs alone, you know." She gets really upset. And it makes it seem like it's your fault because she forgot to shave them. Has that ever happened to you?
Yes, that has happened to me. I mean, why would they shave their legs if they didn't want you to rub them, right?
Yeah, for real. And what else was that? Yeah, and one lady just a few minutes ago was talking about men gossiping, saying that if you find one that gossips, you better hold on because they can lay on some good ones.
All right.
Well, I think that you find occasionally one man that can lay on a lot of gossip, but that doesn't amount to any sort of a way all of these women that gossip.
Well, I don't know if we can make that broad a generalization or not, but you know, for a 16-year-old man, I think you're finally getting a handle on women.
Yeah, I've been told that several times on my school bus.
And I appreciate your call.
Okay, well, thanks.
I wonder if we have any 16-year-old girls who know everything that needs to be known about men. The differences between men and women. Why do women do certain things? Why do men do certain things? Go to your phone. I know you have an opinion. Call 872-0750.
Make your time in the car count. News, weather, and traffic updates, plus informative.
I haven't talked to you in a long time.
Yeah, I've been wondering where you were.
Oh, I've been here. I've been listening.
Aren't you listening at night when we talk to all those people from space?
I get up early in the morning, but I go to bed early too.
Oh.
I usually put you on when I start laying down.
Well, let's don't get into that.
All right. I'm sorry to hear Wes is ill today, but it's a refreshing change of pace to hear your voice back in the afternoon.
Well, I'm glad to talk with you. I just talked to Wes on the phone, and he's all right. He just went up to the doctor to get checked out, a little upper respiratory problem, and from what I understand, it's okay, and he'll be back tomorrow to talk to Lester Maddox.
Well, tell him to just keep warm because the way the weather's changing, you don't know what you might pick up.
Worst kind of cold is the one you pick up in the summertime.
Oh, isn't that the truth? I want to talk to you about the gopher syndrome.
Okay.
When my husband has a project, I don't care what it is. It's his project, right? And I'll be doing something else. I'll be doing, maybe my own project. And I'll get all ready and have all my stuff together before I even set out to do it. Not him. It's, can you get me that?
All right.
Or ring the doorbell, constantly. I need such and such,
Can you give me a Phillips screwdriver?
Right, and I said, what size? And he said, oh, the middle one. So I take the whole doggone thing out with him. I says, here.
And would you get me some lemonade, please, honey?
Lemonade or Coke or a beer or whatever, And I says, I'm running. I mean, if he has a project, I might as well forget doing anything else all day because I have to watch him and cater to him while he does his project. Maybe
this boils down to the fact that maybe men have a tendency not to be as organized as women?
Well, he's very organized. He's an astute businessman, and he's very handy around the house. It's just like he knows that I'm always there, and all he needs to do is yell, and I'll come, running with something.
Does he say it in a nice way?
Oh, of course. But, I told him, I says, here we go. Here's the gopher syndrome, like we were painting, and, doggone it, I spilled some paint over in this corner. Can you, get me some, wet paper towels and wipe it up or something,
At least he doesn't say, woman?
Oh,
right?
He knows better than that.
Woman, get me that screwdriver.
He knows better. I'm very independent.
Now, what about women now? What do you think are the idiosyncrasies of the female gender?
Well, I think they like to gossip a lot.
Though, I think we might be unfair about that, though, because I know a lot of men that love to gossip, too.
Well, I hear that men's gossip is actually more juicier than women's.
Well,
if you can have, get one of these things that they advertise in the magazine that you can hear across the room or across an airport or what.
Oh, I've been meaning to get one of those myself.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Oh, yeah, it's a little amplifier with headphones on it.
Right, it looks like a little Walkman.
Yeah, and you can hear a conversation from 30 feet away or something like that.
And I myself have a tendency to be nosy, so I have to admit that.
Well, what do women tend to like to gossip about?
other people's problems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I do
For
appreciate
kids.
your call, and listen, would you get me a cup of coffee, please? Thank you.
Oh, yes, I will. How do you like that, sir?
Sir, oh boy, cream and sugar, please.
Okay.
All right, I'll
a lot
see
of
you.
love.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
How about it? What do you perceive are the strange differences between men and women? Do you think that women tend to want to gossip more than men? And if indeed that's true, why is it? And do women gossip about different things than men do? And what about the other differences? You know, this woman, Karen, is talking about how her husband is always asking her to get stuff. Why do men have a tendency to do that? And you know, there's another side to the differences between men and women, which I find fascinating. Women tend to be less violent than men. And I think we could pretty well be accurate in that generalization. I mean, who has started most of the worlds throughout civilization? It's been the men. And I wonder if maybe if women were in power, we would have less violence. Why are women less violent than men? And what are some of the other differences between men and women? Maybe you're a young woman or you're a young man and you just can't figure out some of the things that members of the opposite sex do. Remember that movie back in the 1950s? It was called The Battle of the Sexes. What are some of the obvious differences between men and women? The number to call in Atlanta now is 872-0750, and outside of the area, 1-800-WSB-TALK. Why is it that women seem to be more interested in shopping than men? Several times I've had the pleasure of going to the Caribbean with females. And, of course, I want to see the sights. I want to see, let's say, the Mayan ruins in Mexico. And the women, they want to go to the gift shops. And half of the stuff in those gift shops is junk anyway, you know, made in Taiwan. Why do women like to go to gift shops, and why do women like to go shopping? Maybe you're a guy and you're like the women like that. The difference is between men and women. So the number to call right now is 872-0750 in Atlanta, and outside of the area, 1-800-WSB-TALK. And also like to hear from some young people. We just talked to a 16-year-old guy a little while ago, and he certainly had some questions about why men and women are different. The Student Conservation Association is offering a program for Atlanta area high school students this summer. Is filling in for Wes Minner, who'll be back with you tomorrow. Richard is in a payphone booth in Hapeville. Hello, Richard. You're on WSB.
Well, hello, Paul.
How are you?
I'm doing all right. I was on the way to work just listening to the local topics today and had to stop at the telephone here on the way in the building.
Well, I appreciate it.
Listen, I know one thing, you can't please women at all. I know that now. That 16-year-old boy calls, I'll go had it all figured out, but then he's got some more learning to do.
He's got to learn how to play the game.
Well, I believe so. And case in point, just the other evening, my wife caught me out on the deck behind our house. You know, well, we'll just say urinating in the backyard.
Uh-huh.
And this gets to another part of the conversation or the topic. And, you know, I just caught the dickens for that. And it doesn't take me long to learn something, you know. I mean, I'm fairly intelligent. So I went down in the yard and then did it on the deck. You know, and that wasn't right either. You just can't please them.
Well, why don't you go on in the house?
Well, now, this is why we do it to begin with, because if we do it in the yard, nobody is going to come to us and yell at us or about whether or not we put down the seat when we were through.
Yeah, there's another thing that I don't understand about women. Are they not capable of being able to put down the toilet seat?
Well,
why do they get so mad at men for leaving it up? I mean, can't they see that it's up?
I don't know. I get mad because they leave it down. But anyway, and that you know, that's a good transition into the other, one of the other topics is why do they always go at the same time at a social event or something?
Yeah, I've been trying to figure that out all afternoon, but one woman gave us a little enlightenment. She said that women like to go to the ladies' room together so that they can look at each other and see if their hair's all fixed right and their makeup's right and everything like that.
Well, that's what they want us to think. I know the truth.
They're in there gossiping, right?
Well, that's part of it. That's part of the social event, too. But the real thing is, you know, and it's not just random people that go, but it's always friends, you know.
Uh-huh.
And the reason for that is only the first one has to wipe the seat off.
Oh, let's don't get disgusting here now.
Wouldn't that make sense?
I guess.
It's as good as any other answer you've gotten.
I imagine.
Okay.
But the bottom line is, though, that you can't please women. Now, why is that? There must be some root to this problem. Why is it that women are hard to please?
I don't know, Paul. You've got 2 years on me. I'm only 40.
Well, I'm still learning, you know.
And I figure if you don't know in 2 more years than I've had to try to figure it out, then why should I know?
I will tell you that I had the honor one time of meeting the oldest man in the world. He died at about 135 years old, and I asked him one day, I said, why have you lived so long? Is it diet or anything like that? Because I knew he smoked cigars and I knew he drank wine. And he said, the reason I live so long is because I don't worry about nothing, and I especially don't worry about no women. And he basically used that as the secret to longevity.
Yeah, and if he'd tried to figure it out, he would have lived to be 100 and whatever. Still, I mean, he probably went to his grave still trying to figure it out.
That's true. Well, listen, you get to work, and thank you for pulling off and calling me on the phone booth.
All right, thank you, Paul.
Take care, buddy.
All right, good day.
CJ in DeKalb County, you're on WSB. Hello.
Yeah, this is a pretty interesting conversation, but I didn't catch all of it. Last caller had a lot to say. Yeah, I was wondering about why guys have to urinate in weird places. The job I have is sort of strange. I work out in the Bering Sea, and I work with, usually I'm always the only woman on the ship, but I work with the foreign fisheries. And so the government puts us out there. And the last couple ships I've been on, Japanese and Russian, they were, the Japanese were pretty interesting where they chose to urinate.
How did we get on this subject? I can't believe it.
Well,
I cannot believe we're talking about this. Go ahead. I guess I'm the only person that you can feel comfortable talking about this with. Okay, go ahead.
Well, I think, see, the ones that would get me are the ones down in the factory. When we were in the factory, we'd have on all of our slime gear and, oil skins and stuff like that. So I know it would be very difficult to run upstairs and use the head.
Yeah.
But, so the guys would, instead of going over the drain, it's always running water and you always have drains in the bottom. Instead of going over the drain, they'd go over the fish. And that just, and they would do it right in my view. It's like they would, the guy would have to get over, he was quite an acrobat, these guys anyway, but they'd have to climb over the boards and partitions and just so that he could be in my view. And so I always, just ignored it after a while. But another one that really got me is on, let's see, I guess it was at least we, on one side of the ship they had 2 heads, and these are just urinals. And so one of the guys woke up, and I just couldn't believe this. We were working 12 on, 6 off, shifts for whatever, 2 months, 3 months, whatever you're out there for. And the guy got up, and he walked right past the 2 urinals, nobody was using them, and opened the door, and just right on the grate, urinated right on the grate.
Men are strange creatures, aren't they?
Yeah, I thought that was pretty funny the way they did that, but
Well, you have an unusual job.
Yeah, it is quite unusual.
Doesn't it get pretty cold in the Bering Sea?
Yeah, it gets cold.
Very cold.
Yeah, we were up in the ice zone last.
So what about women? In what respects do you think you all are different from us?
I don't know, I sort of, guess I'm not typical because I don't mind getting down with the slime, but that's what we call it, slime.
Slime? What is that now?
Slime, fish slime.
Oh.
Yeah, when you pull in like a 16 metric ton cod-in or something full of fish, there's always slime.
Oh.
And so, I don't know, how are we unusual? Well, we require sit-down toilets.
Yeah. How about shopping? When you get into port, do you like to run? You don't seem like the kind of woman to me that likes to go shopping.
No, not usually. I sort of, clothes don't usually fit me too well, so.
Why is that?
Long-legged.
Oh, nice long legs, huh?
Yeah, so I ignore the stores. Usually have to find 1 or 2 shops that sell what I can wear.
Well, CJ, it's been fun talking with you.
All right, thanks.
And you take care out in the Bering Sea.
All right, bye.
That's amazing, the kind of people you meet on talk radio, isn't it? There's a woman who goes out and gets in the slime with the guys in the Bering Sea. Men and women, their differences. Why are men the way they are and why are women the way they are. In Atlanta, the number's 872-0750. Outside of the area, 1-800-WSB-TALK. No more bodily function calls, okay? Please. Our AM-750 WSB exclusive weather center forecast, and here's our own meteorologist, Kirk Mellish.
Okay, Paul, we're looking at partly cloudy skies for the balance of this afternoon. Kind of windy, kind of cool, and much less humid. High around 73. Cool tonight under a clearing sky, low about 53. For tomorrow, sunshine, high 76.
Paul and Marjorie and Cumming, you're on WSB. Hello there.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm fine. I've been listening to you while I was working on my quilt. And there's something that I wanted to say to you that affects both men and women. Men have been criticized so much. That is blowing their nose while eating.
Oh, disgusting.
And I have
unsavory.
I have been in restaurants when I would be enjoying my meal, and all of a sudden somebody blow like they out in a pasture all by themselves, and I can't eat another bite.
That's just absolutely unsavory, isn't it?
I've also had it happen at my house, and I cannot eat.
Have you noticed that men tend to belch more than women?
With the belching, maybe I could do that, but I don't think they do. I don't think men belch anymore. But this blowing the nose, I mean, that's as bad on women as that, just as bad or maybe worse than men.
Well, does it make you feel better to get that off your chest?
Yes, it did. I've been wanting to say that to somebody for a long time.
And finally, you get to tell me. Let me ask you this brief question, Marjorie. Why is it that women like to go shopping more than men?
Well, I don't know. A lot of them, I call them browsers. They just go to walk and look and pick and see what other people are wearing and what other people are buying.
Maybe women are more fashion conscious than men.
Well, I don't know. I guess...
But see, I only go shopping when I need to buy something. I'd rather take that time and go to a movie or go somewhere. I don't want to waste my time in the shopping mall.
So should I. But I guess when the women started wearing the pants, they decided that they would go shopping more, equal basis with the men. Because I heard one woman say one time that she could do anything that a man could except be the father of a son. So
this is true. Hey, Ann, you take care, and I'm glad you got that off your chest.
Well, I appreciate it.
You take care. And Ann and Warner Robbins, you're on WSB.
Hi. This is not about bodily functions, but you asked a question. You asked why women want the lid down?
Yeah.
It's because when those things were designed, they were made for the lid to be closed when it's not in use. And when you walk into a bathroom, a woman likes to keep her house pretty. It looks bad to see the thing open. It looks much prettier to have it down with maybe a cover on the lid.
Oh, I see. I wonder, so this would tend to make me believe that maybe women are more conscious about being neat than men?
Oh, of course.
Why is that?
Because they're raised to be caretakers, I guess.
Oh, yeah. Well, and why do women tend to want to go shopping more than men?
Now, I'm different there. I don't enjoy shopping. But I think it's because when they were little girls, they were told how pretty they were and how their clothes were so important to them, and every little thing they wore was so important, and people make a fuss over little girls about the things they wear and the things they have.
Is there anything that you just cannot understand about men, Ann?
There are a lot of things, I guess, but I can't think of... Oh, as far as single men, it always puzzles me why they'll go out with somebody and then never call again. That just doesn't... I think it would be much better to call and say, well, that was fun, but I won't be calling you again.
Oh, that's not...
see you again.
That's not very nice, though, is it?
Well, it's better than keeping somebody wondering.
Well, why don't you just call up the guy and say, hey, I thought I'd call you. Maybe the guy figures it ought to be a two-way street.
Oh, no, they do this even when they say, I'll call you. Never.
Maybe, you know what I think it is? Maybe the guy just doesn't want to hurt your feelings.
Right, but it hurts more to just be left dangling. That's the only thing I don't understand, I guess.
Well, we'll have to use that as a topic for another show, and I thank you, and I appreciate your being a part of it today.
You're welcome.
And tomorrow we'll, of course, get your radio adjusted back to the right. Wes Minner will be back, and he will have as his guest Lester Maddox. I'll tell you, whether you agree or disagree with Lester, you got to admit, he's very entertaining to listen to. And he's going to tell you why he needs to be governor of Georgia again. And that, of course, is tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock. Have a good afternoon, my friend, and may God bless.
WSB Atlanta, AM-750.
Twice the coverage. Skycopter and Skyplane traffic. AM-750 WSB. Depend on it.
WSB Atlanta.
AM 750 WSB news time at the tone, 3 o'clock.